WECT investigates tonight another death at a massive pork processing plant in Bladen County.
Smithfield Foods confirming a worker died at the plant in Tar Heel this past Saturday. WECT's Connor Smith looking into the investigation tonight. Connor, the latest here in a long line of incidents that have happened at that plant.
Yeah, that's right, John. WECT Investigates has learned Smithfield has paid over $100,000 in federal penalties over the last decade, a result of several workplace safety problems. Now, the company has not released the name of that employee that died on Saturday or a cause of death, but a spokesperson says they notified the Occupational Safety and Health Administration and are working with investigators. You may remember in June, another employee died at the same facility. Smithfield says that was the result of a medical emergency. We do know the state labor department is still investigating. And with 2 deadly incidents in just the last 7 months, we spent today digging through years of inspections records. Here's a look at what we've learned so far. OSHA hit Smithfield with more than $33,000 in penalties after investigating that June death. Again, that investigation's still ongoing. A January 2023 death in the plant's parking lot was ruled accidental with no penalties, but Smithfield did pay $70,000 in penalties after an employee died at the facility in October 2018. We also uncovered over $20,000 in other citations dating back to the last decade. Here's a look at what public records we're still working to get our hands on tonight. Details about what happened on Saturday, all inspection reviews of the plant from the last 5 years, and all complaints filed with the state labor department. Smithfield declined to answer any of our questions on camera today. The company's statement says their thoughts and prayers are with this employee's family. Connor Smith, WECT News.